Okay, so hey y'all, welcome. I'm Mikey. Thank you for joining me, and this is Tell Your Friends. You're tuned in live to Glacier FM. Come on in, take a seat, get comfortable, and take off your shoes. We're gonna chill for a little bit. So this is the segment we're introducing called Mikey's Monarchy, where we're getting the kings back together, and we're gonna discuss some other things. So my first question for you guys actually, I'm gonna let you guys go ahead and introduce yourselves again. Reintroduce yourselves. I don't know what order y'all want to go in. I'm not going. Everybody's grown, so I'm not going. Pick
You
and choose.
call it out. You the host of the show.
Okay, well then
There
we
you
could just
go.
go in the order that your boxes are. So we could start with you, sir.
All right, what's going on, everybody? I'm Mac, representing New York. I'm the owner of TL Mac Fitness, owner of TL Mac Fitness podcast on the Evening Rush Network. Um, Everything TL Mac. I'm a fitness man. I'm from New York. We got the best pizza. I'm a 49er fan. We got the best baseball team, the best basketball team, Knicks and Yankees. And just so y'all know, I'm gonna talk a whole lot of trash today.
I figured that. I already knew that. Go ahead, Coach Eddie.
All right, I'm Eddie Hamilton. I'm in Bossier City, Louisiana, about 3 hours east of Dallas. No, not a Cowboy fan. I'm a 49er fan since '85. Uh, I've been married for 20 years. Been coaching and teaching this is my 18th year, and I'm also the host of the Coaches Sanctuary podcast, helping coaches build successful athletic programs off the court. All right, and then my wife and I also we deal with having a little real estate. We own some rental property, trying to start that empire. So glad to be here. Glad to be here.
Pleasure to have you, Mr. Divine.
Hey, it's Vinny Divine. I'm from Buffalo, New York. I'm a music artist. I also do a lot of contracting work as well. I'm a small business entrepreneur too. Um, I do a landscaping business. I have a fence keeping business. I partner with my brother to do a moving business as well. Um, I do a lot of handyman services. Man, I mean, if you want to check me out on any of my music as well, it's vinnydivine.me, soloto.vinnydivine, and I have everywhere. You'll see all my stuff on every single platform.
All right. And last but not least, you, sir.
Shantae from Seattle, Washington. I am a sneaker connoisseur. I have my own brand, Sneaker Wars clothing brand. Um, Single, 42, out of Seattle. I was married for 13 years in a long-term relationship for 25. So I got a lot to say and give a male's perspective from who's now been on both sides of the spectrum. So I'm definitely glad to be here with these brothers on here. And I think it's going to get really interesting.
I appreciate all of you being here. I think it's going to get interesting too. I handpicked everybody because, I've sat and talked to all of y'all for at least 30 minutes to an hour. So I handpicked the personalities. So I want to see how it's going to unfold. I've already seen behind the scenes. So um, my first question is, and we can go in the same order that you guys introduced yourselves. Um, how do you feel about a woman withholding sex in a relationship? Like when she gets mad and she withholds sex. How do you feel about that? And would that cause you to cheat if she withholds sex from you for too long? And how long would it take for you to have to cheat if you would with her withholding it?
I'm gonna pass that question to Vinny.
You gonna pass it to Vinny because the wife's sitting there. I feel you. Don't get in trouble. Don't let me get you in trouble.
Sure, I can answer that one. That's fine. That's fine. I mean, I think that's a little unfair. You know what I mean? Because we are partnerships, so it's like, how you gonna be holding off on the sex? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, I know I'm good. You know I'm good. So like, what's really going on? Like, was you gonna be in the room using a rose toy or something like that? Because how you gonna be able to get your rocks off like that? And I just gotta sit back and take the L. Like, you know what I mean? So I get it. I get it. Um, for how long? I mean, I think that all kind of depends on how much I kind of care about you too. You know what I mean? To be honest, like if I really, really like you, I mean, I'll wait. But if you wait me way too long, like, you know what I mean? Like, if I gotta wait like a whole month or something, like that's a little long. Like, that's a little excess. Like, I want a relationship where we can kind of like freely have our sex and kind of keep it, you know what I mean? So like, for me, that's a little long. Because others, they might be able to wait that out. You know what I mean? It might be a lot longer,
Mm.
but.
Okay, so um, Coach Eddie, you can go next since you would have been the next one.
I mean, it ain't honestly. It's just not something. I've been in it for 20 years now, almost 21 years. So it's just not even something we think about. Like, honestly, I just try to be considerate. My wife's a nurse. I'm a school teacher. We're both involved in our church real heavy. I got my little boy. A lot of things going on. So sometimes, man, she comes home and she been working through all the COVID stuff. The whole time she never got off work. So with me, I really do be considerate about just when she's fatigued and she's tired. So for us, we get it in when we can, but I don't overthink it. So I mean, but with the cheating stuff, when it comes down to that, like that question that was funny about that is that, I messed up in the past, but it had nothing to do with that. That was just, I had issues, and we worked through it. So yeah, yeah.
After
So
everyone answers, I'm gonna tell you why I asked that question.
all right.
Okay, so go ahead. Who's next?
I'll respond. I'll jump in.
Okay.
Shout out to Coach Hamilton. I'm with him. I've been with my wife for quite a number of years, and like him, I've had the infidelities.
Mm-hmm.
With a
Yeah.
plural. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna sit here and hold it up.
Same here, bro.
They we always would sit back and we'll always blame the other party instead of always looking at ourselves. But it goes two ways, and if withholding sex is part of the punishment, you know most men are sexual. So as sexual beings, we're gonna tend to want to go out and get sex. We're gonna tend to want to go out and get that love and affection that we're not getting. So is it always right? No, it's not. I can't. No, it's not right at all. But I mean, after a while, if your situation just isn't working,
Mm-hmm.
it's time to shut it down and just walk away.
Yeah.
And there's times, and I sit back and and if 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 all men sat back and said, "Joe, instead of cheating, I'm just gonna leave," men on a whole wouldn't be dogged and said, "Oh, men ain't shit, this and that." But
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people refuse to sit back and be like, "Yo, okay, well, what's the whole situation?" Because it's always two parts to the situation.
Right.
That's a fact.
Right.
But of course, who gets blamed no matter what the situation is.
Facts. One thing I will say is if it's a month.
My mouth is shut. I'm not gonna say nothing.
You
One thing I
agree.
will.
You know I do. So go ahead, sir.
I
Well,
was just gonna say one thing I would say though is if it's been a whole month, I probably wouldn't cheat. I probably would just walk away though. Cam is right. I
Right.
said Cam Mike.
well, no, sex should not be used as a weapon. When sex is weaponized, it's actually a form of abuse, which a lot of people don't want to talk about. Just the same as financial abuse. You know what I'm saying? So I think there should be a conversation on the why. And I think definitely, why would you withhold sex? Why would you feel like you need to use that type of power to prove a point? So, and like my man said, there's definitely two parties to it. But if you want to use that as a form of power, then you definitely have to understand if somebody waits. I would definitely wait longer than a month. And me being in my situation, I never did it because I was a different type of person. You know what I'm saying? I was fully committed, wanted the marriage, wanted the whole Huxtable type of like feel. And to be honest, the other person stepped out because she couldn't be honest. And I think in a lot of these conversations that we're having, we definitely have to talk about the why, and we definitely have to talk about how people make emotional convictions instead of really communicating. Duration wise on waiting, in my situation, I never done it, never cheated, never stepped out in the whole 25 years. Had temptations, but for me, I fought the temptation. The way that I thought about it, and I still think about it to this day, once you fall for the temptation, that the only thing that's left is another temptation. So I'd rather just chomp at the bit of maybe flirting or maybe, window shopping, but I would never jump, because for me, loyalty is loyalty trumps love. You feel what I'm saying? So, and then what was the third part of the question?
You kind of answered it. Was how long would you wait?
Yeah.
I think walking away, I definitely learned my lesson. And so what I would have done differently, I probably would have walked away maybe after 2 years. Because what I did in my situation, I looked into myself and just started to work out more.
Yeah.
And it started to be more on the creative side. And we had we had somewhat of a conversation about it. She made up some medical excuse, which I only was with one person my whole life. And so I took that person saying at face value, not knowing this was part of the manipulation process.
Yeah.
I had the conversation and said, okay, well, what's the balance? And I even came to this point. I said, well, look, I'm working out hella. And once I start to get going on these legs, that Thorazine is going to get released. So, what do we had this conversation. I said, listen,
you got to understand that testosterone got to go somewhere.
Yeah.
I tell the ladies.
And I made the proposal. I said, listen, we can get a girlfriend and you can pick her out. But what I'm not going to do, I'm not going to stay fully committed. I'm not going to keep coming up with your excuses and different things on why. And I'm not getting satisfied when I'm fulfilling everything else on your end.
Yeah.
But again, that's the communication. And in this new world with, E&M and poly and all these different things coming up.
Oh, what was that first one? E&N?
Yeah, ethically non-monogamous.
Oh.
That's a term now for open relationship. So,
okay.
Say that again. Ethically
non-monogamous.
Say it again.
Ethically non-monogamous.
Wow.
Okay. Wow.
Whatever experience you're not getting from your partner, you're seeking that out. And a lot of people you'll see now in the dating world, they'll say tacos, tequila, catch a vibe, ethically non-monogamous. They want to have a different experience. They still want to have a situation.
I never heard that before. So.
Me neither. I'm like, okay.
And it's crazy. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of people, this is what they're doing because they're looking for something else. And in some of these relationships, they've been lying to themselves about the partner that they're with. Some people are with them for financial reasons. Some people for reasons, and it's hard for them to break. Yeah. But it all falls within communication. So that's where I stand on that point.
Man, okay, so my reasoning for asking this question is because now my father and my mother, they split up because they got divorced. When I was younger, I told you I was raised by my father. So my mother, every time she would talk about it, she's like, and he cheated on me. And y'all know how that toxic, angry, melanated woman is. And so one day I just asked my daddy, I'm not, y'all know how they are. So one day I just asked my daddy, like, my mom said you cheated on her, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, I did cheat on her. He said, your mother didn't have to work. Your mother took you to daycare because she just, wanted to have time to herself. I'd come home and the same piece of paper was on the floor than when I left. Your mother said that a pool would make her feel intimate. I paid cash and put a pool in. You think I ever got any in the pool? Your mother wasn't giving me none. I took care of everything. She didn't want to get her hair done here, so I paid for her to go get her hair done every 2 weeks to go there. So yes, I cheated on her. And if the situation arises again, I would cheat on her again. So when my father explained it to me like that, I understood. So that's why I was asking the question, because a lot of men, are like you said, men are sexual beings. Men are visual creatures. So if you stop a man from being single and, doing his thing, you have to be ready to, take on all them sexual, energies, that testosterone that you taking away. He might have been sleeping with 3 other women and that was keeping him straight. But now you got him to yourself, sis. So now you got to make up for all that testosterone that he was letting out.
That's a
Like he
fact.
said, we could get a girlfriend. Like
I mean, at least he trying to accommodate.
I'm just saying, like, that's why I asked the question, because a lot of women use withholding sex as a punishment in their relationships. And so I want the women to hear, what men think about that. I learned firsthand from my father. And he's like, yes, I did. He didn't try to sugarcoat it or anything. He's like, yes, I did. And here's why. So the lesson I learned from that is I don't care how mad we are. I'm not saying no. When we done, we can be mad again.
I'm not gonna be mad no more.
I'm just saying. I'm not saying no. Okay, so what does femininity look like to you? Why are you laughing? Then I want you to answer first, since you got a nice little giggle. I need you to go ahead and answer the question first.
Well, okay. Well, in this era, it's totally different. It's different than any other era we've probably.
Okay, then let's make it a 2-part question. Okay. What does it look like to you? And then what are you talking about in this era? Like, what is it supposed to be to you? And then what is it in this era?
Okay, so if my parents were still married, you know what I'm saying? So what I was raised on was, my mom was a super compassionate, nurturing person. My mom was a person of, we could talk to my mom about anything, but we still knew that my mom wasn't our friend. So it wasn't just like, we could have a bare bones conversation, but, we knew what we couldn't like express. We couldn't be cussing and being so freely. So when I look at my mom and I look at the older culture, those women cared a little bit more and weren't so outspoken about the miscues of what a man wasn't. They appreciated more of what a man was.
What you mean when they say a man ain't shit?
And I think,
yeah, he be quick on them too, right?
He already said, he told us at the beginning he was gonna be on for the team.
Yeah. And I just think the catering, I think the natural care of just another person. And I think, back then it wasn't such a mandate for things. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're saying this $200 this and you have to do that. So I think back then it was more of being into the person instead of being into the materials. You feel what I'm saying? Of what a person can do for you. So in this era, in my new singlehood,
fast forward, right?
the women move like dudes. And
yeah.
I heard this comment, I really didn't understand it. You know what I'm saying? Until I started to have conversations with some of these women. And the care, a lady told me, I don't care what a man thinks or what he feels. Okay. So then how do you expect a man to care about what you think or feel?
She just told you that right out, just
right out.
Wow.
And in this
how old was this woman, might I ask?
29.
Sounds about right.
And in this era now, it's more of like nobody really wants to be authentic. You put your best representative forward, and then it takes you 90 to 100 days to peel into that person. And everybody's fake. Nobody can tell you how they feel. They'll send you a TikTok or something else to describe how they are. So there's a real disconnect in this era. You know what I'm saying? Like, instead of dealing with a man, they'll deal with a rose. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're seeing people manipulate in the dating scene of, they'll go out to eat or go out for a drink with you, and they really ain't even into you. So there's no real connection right now. You feel what I'm saying? Like people don't even know. I've been around so many women that don't even know their type. And if you don't have a type, I can't deal. And that's the biggest disconnect is the people to people kind of like situation. You don't get that. It's more what you have, how much money you got, and what you may look like aesthetically. But on the inside, nothing really matters. They don't.
Can you give me a Birkin bag?
Mm.
I mean, but I'm gonna I kind of I definitely agree with what you're saying. My thing is, you're 42, so you was talking to a 29 year old, but you also have some older women that also feel that same way too. That feel you know, I've worked so hard in my life. If you can't provide for me, this is what this is what this is going to be, or this is what it's not going to be, or genuinely, if you're trying to be, openly empathetic with a female, they really like, and going back to what you said, they really just don't care how you feel because I guess it's pre genetic or whatever I want to say it is. You know, my feelings
I'll tell you
matter
why
more
when
than
we
your
done with
feelings.
this. I'll tell you why.
So if your feelings don't align with how I feel, then it really doesn't matter. And a lot of times across the board, both parties have to sit back and say, okay, well, I'm gonna have to sit down and figure out and understand how to accept your feelings, and the other party has to do the same. That way you can connect. Now, going back into feminine or femininity, you know, we could talk about, he spoke about the actual feelings. A lot of people now go off of the look, and I actually had this me and you spoke about this, Myche. And my thing is with the look, you have I'm in the bodybuilding world. I'm getting ready to do a competition. And there are a lot of female bodybuilders. And automatically, you have a lot of people automatically sit back and say, you get the stereotype. If you lift weights, you're going to look like a man. Or you have some of the females who are more muscular and consider them manly. Yet still, if you actually sit down and have a conversation with them or you go out with them, you'll realize they're just as feminine as the next female. They just have bigger muscles.
Mhm.
Also, you can look at the females that have the short haircuts. I've heard plenty of times where a female has a Caesar, oh, she's trying to be a man, and she's not. So we can touch on femininity physically and mentally.
Right.
So my actual perspective is, if everybody could sit down and actually come together and figure out where they're trying to go with the next person, you'll have better unity. You'll have a better understanding. Your relationship will last a lot longer and it'll be a lot more connected. You can't go into a relationship saying, okay, this is how I want to do things, or this is how I was taught to do things, and this is just how it's going to be. Because from gate, if you do that, your relationship is going to be pretty much on the rocks. All kind of going back into what Shantae said. If you're sitting back saying, okay, we got to peel back these layers, over time, if we've already established that we're going to be in a relationship, we shouldn't be peeling back nothing. Everything should be on the table. We should know what's inside that lasagna off rip. And that's the
Right.
man's lasagna as well as the female's lasagna. We need to
Yeah.
know we should know who you are.
Yeah.
And if we don't
Yeah.
know who you are, then that means there was either a gap in communication or a miscue somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's good, man. Like I said before, Mikey, you did a really good job with getting, a lot of us with diverse backgrounds and different perspectives, man. For me, I'm one of the ones. I grew up in the church. Old school Pentecostal. What I'm saying. The churches with the jumping, the yelling, the shouting, and that's. I grew up in that culture. I see Shantae down there smiling. I think you might know what I'm talking about a little bit. And so me progressing in that, the one thing that I learned, I didn't learn when I was younger, that I started learning when I got older, um, is that there are roles that are defined in the Bible. It defines what a man's role is, a husband, and what a wife's role is. And so when you talk about femininity, all it is just it's the essence of the woman, meaning, that she's confident and she understands her role when it comes down to as a wife, okay, in a relationship with a husband. Not trying to trump the man, allowing him to make his mistakes as he's learning to lead, because you got to remember, when you get into a relationship and then like let's go ahead and jump all the way to marriage, you got to learn how to do that. But learning how to do that comes with, like I said, conversation. I love when y'all say, you got to converse, man. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I love you, you know, help me to understand you. You see what I'm saying? Like,
Music coach, y'all said it best. Teach me how to love.
like tell me what you like, and then, of course, they always say this too. I have to say this, they say if you want to hide something from a black man, put it in the book. We got books out here now to read,
yes,
and videos to watch. You know what I'm saying? On they got something now called the 5 love languages, where you pretty much you learn what it is that your partner likes. Like me, I'm words of affirmation. Okay.
me too.
So I can't love my wife with words of affirmation because that's what I like.
Right.
Hers is quality time. She don't care what's going on. We can go to sleep on the couch together, and she's good just because I'm here. You see what I'm saying? Like, and the second one is acts of service, and I still suck at acts of service. I have my good days, I have a bad days. You know what I'm saying? But ultimately, like I said, going back to the original question with femininity, it's being comfortable with the role that you have as a wife, as a woman. That's a big thing because like now, the biggest thing now is, and Mikey, you and I talked about it in our conversation, all the women want to boss up. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Want to be an entrepreneur, start their own thing, get their own money. All that stuff is good, man. Like, but that switch got to go off when it comes down to your husband. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's got to be turned off. You ain't the boss at home. We're a team, and I'm the team leader. You see what I'm saying? So, but we are working together. So femininity is being comfortable and confident in the role that you're designed as a helpmeet or a helper, to your husband. So that's my small spiel.
Can I kind of add to what you just said? Well, I don't want to add. I want to ask you a question because
Okay.
I love where you went with that. But I've heard females say, 50-50. We're not doing 50-50. You're gonna do 90-10. You're gonna do... Who did that?
That's crazy demand.
Somebody knows somebody that 90-10.
Wow.
I mean,
These women are bold. That's why I love talking to y'all men, because I love to hear what these women are out here saying. Like,
no, but I mean, I've heard all type of stuff, and when I came up, I grew up without a father, so my mom's held fort down for for the family. But as I got older, I had an uncle who always felt like, you put your check on the table and you take a small percentage of that check. But then as I got older, it was like, okay, well, you pay this portion of the bills and whatever else needs to be added, you add.
Mm-hmm.
So the Bible says you should be the provider, the protector, and the who?
And the priest.
So if today, 2022, if a lot of times females make just as much money or more money than the men.
Or more, yeah.
So you have a lot of females that will argue with you. Okay, well, I make $2 an hour more than you.
Yeah.
That is petty.
Now I'm the superior one instead of sitting back like you said,
Right.
Like she's the boss because she make $2 more. She's
I
the
mean,
man.
it could be 20,000.
Yeah.
She's like Neo peasants.
That still does not make you a man.
Not ever realizing that no matter what, you guys are a team.
Mm-hmm.
So if we're both putting money into our home and trying to build the empire, that's how it should be. I don't I believe in the Bible. You know, I read the Bible. I go to church, so on and so forth. But at the same time, there are certain things in the Bible that, as time has changed, can be rearranged and moved around.
Mm-hmm.
And as the man being a provider, yes, you can provide, but a lot of females, and I'm not saying all females, but a lot of females will sit back and say, okay, at the end of the day, your job is to take care of me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not, and again, I'm gonna reiterate that not all females feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
You do have some you have a lot of females that don't believe in, oh well, I'm out to get the bag so I could do it myself.
Mm-hmm.
But you do have some females that'll be like, you know what, we're gonna do this together and we're gonna build. If I don't have, you have.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's not in the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times when people, you know, try and throw Bible scriptures at me, you know, I sit back and say, okay, well, what about today and how today moves?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you said, you know, you're a teacher, your wife's a nurse. So, you know, if we want to talk about a female's position, and notice I'm doing the quote signs, the female come home and cook and clean.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that, but that's what it said. If your wife, she gets up, goes to work, she's putting in, you know, as because I'm an educator as well. So we normally have to be at work, you know, between 7 and 3, 7 and 4, depends on what we're doing. You know, if your wife is a nurse, she's usually working 12 to 16-hour shifts. Now, as the Bible is saying, okay, well, now I'm the man, so I'm gonna come home and I'm gonna wait for her to cook for me.
Right.
Nah, that's not fair. And you have some men. Now, let me talk about the men now. Now you have some men that will be like, yo, you know what? That's your job. You supposed to come home and cook and clean. Nah, bro. Yo, you got to realize she put in 20 hours today. She want to come home. She want to get her feet rubbed. Get her toes nibbled on. You know what I'm saying? Nibble on her toes.
Right. I mean, absolutely. But see, this is the thing. This is the thing right
here. Myche chose because she got Green Bay toes. So
listen, we're not gonna go.
I had to throw that shot.
So hey, so I love where you're going with it. I love where you're going with it because you're talking to the perfect person when it comes down to it. Because I ain't that dude. You see what I'm saying? That's the crap I was raised up around. But as time goes on, the Bible hasn't changed, but the understanding changes. See, all those things that we talk about those are all surface outward things that we come up with so we can, you know, measure. You put measurements on, you know, stuff that's tangible. But this is the part where men, we weren't taught how to be in tune with our wives emotionally in the church. See, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. See, we weren't taught that. See, the things you start saying about how I serve my wife, the part that's I think it's in Ephesians, and when it says that we are supposed to submit to each other first, then it says, wives, submit to your husbands. And so that's the thing, we skip over that. See, all the traditional Bible folks, wives, submit to your husband. No.
And you hear that all the time. You got to submit to your husband. Submit to your husband.
No, but it says before that,
submit to each other. And if you can't submit to each other, you have a broken situation.
I agree.
Right. So before that, it says
he enjoying the conversation.
Right. He's just sitting back like listening.
Yeah. So what you're saying is you're absolutely right, and the perception was perceived. Because the thing about being a provider, that's not just financially. That's the stuff that we put on in our culture. If you got a job and you showing up every single day doing your job to the best of your ability, you're providing. If your wife a doctor and she's making $300,000 a year, that doesn't knock you making your $50,000 what you're doing. Because people measure that. In your house, if y'all are communicating and you're working together, you see what I'm saying? And that's why I say the femininity is the woman understanding her role. You don't measure your role based on dollars. Dollars is fickle. Now, as a man, do we want to make more? Yeah, we want to make more. Yeah, we would like to, but that's a feeling that comes from what's been taught to us in this culture. The culture ain't got nothing to do with the Bible. The Bible is timeless. But every era in time, we should grow, take the foundation, and then we got to grow in our understanding. So, man, the cooking and cleaning, it don't say that in the Bible. Does it say wife stay at home and cook and clean? Nope. But see, when you read Proverbs 31, we're talking about Proverbs 31 woman, man, in there, it's talking about how she organizes the home and how she helps her husband with his business. You see what I'm saying? That's all in there. That's all in there. But the other part is that for us men, is that man, we gotta serve our wives, man. Like last night, I rubbed my wife's feet. I rubbed the feet. Like,
see, there we go, rubbing the feet.
I mean,
Ain't
you
nothing
see what
wrong
I'm
with
saying?
that. Ain't nothing
Like
wrong
today,
with that.
like today, she fussed at me a little. She fussed at me a little. Like I told you, some days I get it, some days I don't. I got to do more around the house more consistently. Some days I'll clean the toilets. Some days I won't. I got to do better with that. That's me. But I do have an understanding is that I'm helping her be better when I'm helping her around this house. Like so the old school mode mindset, man. That's a weak man. That's weak.
Mhm.
I'm sorry. But if you take that man and combine it with being emotionally in tune, because they go back to the first question about cheating. That's why cheating is done. It ain't for physical. That's emotional.
It's emotional.
That ain't
Yeah,
just I gotta go get me some from somewhere. No, when I messed up, that was emotional. I had some crap going on in my head. You see what I'm saying? I wasn't growing as a person. And so when my wife was challenging me to be a better man, I wanted to stay the same little boy. So that same little boy stepped out and did what he wasn't supposed to do because I wanted to find somebody that was going to serve my boyhood and not my manhood.
Mm.
Way to put it.
That makes so much sense.
That's what I'm talking about, Coach Hamilton.
I
Yeah,
love
man,
it.
I appreciate the question, bro. You went there because the bottom line is we not here to have women sitting around the house doing just cooking. Now, if that's your household structure and that's what you all want to do, that's okay because you communicated about it. It's a
Mm-hmm.
conversation. Me, I'm starting the businesses on the side from education because I want my wife to have the opportunity or the choice to work part time as a nurse instead of full time. You see what I'm saying? Because she loves nursing. So my goal is I'm trying to triple her income. So that means when she can work when she wants to work and she's not dead dog tired all the time. That's my goal. And she right with me. She said, yeah, baby, if you can do it, if you can do it. If you can't, she said, I'm gonna go to work. You see what I'm saying? That's talking about it.
But that's that big C word, communication.
Communication,
Communication
man.
is key.
It's
Communication.
real.
If every time a conversation gets to happen and conversations get to shutting down, you're never gonna advance.
Right.
Because whatever that problem is that you're discussing, if you don't discuss it or if you don't resolve the issue, the issue don't go away.
Nah.
It's still right there
All
in
it is gonna do, you just pouring the gas on the fire, until
because then you pile more
Right.
issues on top of it as you go along, and you ain't resolved this one, and now the way you breathe is getting on my nerves. The toothpaste
I
is
can't
getting
stand the
on
way you flicker in your eyes.
my nerves. Like, you have to breathe
Yeah.
like
Blink
that.
is
Stop
irritating.
breathing. I'm just saying. So, do you have
Well,
anything to add to that
shout out
topic?
to everybody that's tuned in because we got a ton of questions on the side.
We do.
Right, they over here
So I'm
talking.
looking at it like, yo, it's the comments is crazy. I can't, I tried to read a couple of them, but they just kept going. So I just stopped
I'm
looking
over
at
here
the
multitasking, talking and talking. So, what are some of the qualities? That toxic woman that we talk about. What are some of the qualities that she possesses?
What are the qualities that what?
That the toxic woman, the one that you steered clear of, the one that didn't make it to being your wife or your wife.
Yeah.
Oh, you saying what a traits of a toxic woman?
Yes. What are some of the qualities and traits that she possesses?
She's a woman. I'm playing.
Yeah.
On my face, like, okay,
I'm playing. Yo, the comments are gonna start going crazy. Like, yo, Mac, what you saying? I mean, I say, I go with that. Probably one of the biggest toxic, traits of a female and a man is just inconsistent or drama filled.
Okay.
Okay. Anyone else?
I guess I'll talk.
I'm
I
thinking
say,
about cool.
for a toxic woman, I say, her like overplaying her role. Like, I mean, even us just kind of like we should be able to talk about like whatever it is that we're gonna be building like at the jump. But I know that sometimes when somebody like blindlessly loves you, they'll kind of go a little further than necessary. They'll like put your information out. They'll like talk to you crazy in public, and it's certain things as a man like that make you feel like a man. So it's like for a female to try to de-emasculate you or anything like that, whether it be through speech or actions, anything like that. I think that's the toxic trait, really.
Mm,
Yeesh.
yes.
Yo, he was quiet for the whole one, but when he hit that
Right.
with
He
that,
was,
yo,
boy,
when
he
you
came
pretty
with
much,
some fire when he did speak, though.
yo, to keep it 100 with you, yo, what happens in the house is supposed to stay in the house.
Yeah.
If your peoples know your business and people is looking at you crazy, yo, like, and I'm gonna go back to it's two sides of the story. You know, I hate
All
to
the
say it,
time.
family and friends. You know, my family. If I said anything about my other, you know, they're gonna be like, you know, they're gonna be on my side, on my
Right.
friends. And same with you know, her family or friends would be like, yo, you know, I'm gonna take I'm gonna take your side. And when you two actually come together, you know, both sides of the family and friends is looking at y'all like, yo, what are y'all doing? You know, I thought it was
Right.
an issue, but
Right.
you know, everybody always remembers the negative, or
That's a
everybody
fact.
seems to speak on the negative.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're constantly bigging your spouse up, like, yo, my spouse did this, my girl did this, you know, my man did that, you know, so on and so forth. You know, when you go to your friend and be like, yo, George, he cursed at me.
Mm-hmm.
Your friend, if they always used to hearing you say something positive, they're gonna be like, yo, maybe George had a bad day. You know,
Mm-hmm.
maybe something different was going
Or
on
what
because
happened
you
before
always.
George cursed at you?
Yeah, you know, it's if
Facts.
you only dropping the negative, that when the positive happens, it's like, damn, he did that. What'd he do?
Facts.
And you hear that
Mm-hmm.
all the time, like, yo,
Early.
like you know, I'm going off of videos and stuff off of Instagram, YouTube, and so on and so forth. But when a man sends a female flowers, or what's it called, an edible arrangement, the first question that comes to the friends and the family mind is, well, what did he do? What is he apologizing for?
Wow.
Facts.
It can't be.
Yeah.
It can't be. Yo, maybe he's just doing it because he loves you and he was thinking about you.
Facts. You had to do something
That's
wrong.
because of the toxicity that a lot of these young ladies grew up with. You know, like when you have all the women around you and they're already upset and they mad and you hear them all talking about how men ain't ish and you know all they have to share is bad experiences and bad stories. That kind of, you know, that kind of shapes your view of men. Like I've said to quite a few of you in the interviews, like a lot of melanated women are taught to look at you men as what can I get up out of you? We're not taught to look at you as partners and providers and leaders. We were raised by a single angry woman and we were taught like get what you want up out of them. Like use what you got to get what you want and get on up out of there. Like the new generation talking about if you can't get a Birkin, what you messing with them for? A lot of us were taught like that. That's why I'm
I
grateful
have a
for
question though. I
to
have a question.
That's
offset that
wild.
whole.
I have a question though for you. This is like the third time I heard you say Birkin. What is a Birkin?
It's a purse. It's an expensive purse, and I just say it because I
Well,
saw
Coach even was looking like he didn't know what it was either. So
Look, I heard of Michael Kors. I heard of Dunenberg.
it's a new. To me, it's
I didn't know
ugly.
about.
I've seen the bag, and to me, it's ugly. So it's just like to
It's
be
just
able to say you
expensive.
have one.
Okay.
so is
Yeah.
it like is it
Is
like
it?
is it like really expensive? Because I mean, the Michael Kors
Yeah,
bag, I go to Macy's and get it for like a couple of hundred
It's like the
yeah.
new
Purse
bag that the rappers be
is
buying
like
for their
a couple of
girls.
like 1,000 and up.
for a bag. What it come with?
Child, that's how I feel. Like, does
Come
it
with a
does
free
it
life?
fancy do
I'm
all
not
of
paying
that?
no $1,000 for nobody bag.
not
If you
into
come to me
all
and be like,
that.
"Yo, you got to buy me a Birkin," listen, relationship didn't even start.
Didn't
Have a
even
good life.
But that's what these young ladies are. That's the message that these young ladies are pushing, and a lot of I would say a lot of impoverished communities. That is the message that young girls are getting. Like
You better sit back and say, "Can you help me get out of the hood and get a crib somewhere?"
Right.
Facts.
It don't have to be a house. It could be an apartment on a better side of town.
They're not thinking that far ahead. They'd rather stay where they are and be fly with Birkins and Versace
You want to be
and
fly
Gucci
with roaches and fly with roaches and rats.
roaches off their shoulder and stuff.
Somebody gonna end up robbing them for the bag anyways.
Right.
Feel
Right.
me? I feel you.
Like they're very materialistic.
You can tell Vinny from Buffalo. Yo, that was straight up Buffalo answer. I'm gonna see her. She's just gonna get knocked in the head. Let me get that bag.
I learned very young because I have
You
three.
gonna be like this though.
I have 3 sisters and I have cousins, and I learned very young, like you said, when you get into it with your significant other and you go complaining to your sisters and your cousins, especially females, like when you get over it in 2 days and you are all lovey-dovey, they don't ever get over it. So I learned a long time ago, like I keep my business to myself. If I'm having a problem, I'm going to talk to the person that I'm having the problem with, instead of talking to 8 other different people trying to get a perspective, or like, what do you think? Why do I need to ask other people what do they think when he said this?
You ask your man or your woman what they think.
Exactly.
But this is how I feel.
A lot of things get messed up because women are taking outside, they got the wrong people in their ear. I say all the time, as a woman, how do you think that you're going to get good advice on how to be in a relationship, sustain a healthy relationship from single women? The women around you have never been in a relationship. You've never seen them be in a healthy relationship, but they're
they in multiple relationships.
But they're giving you advice on how to deal with your husband or how to keep your man, but you don't see them with one.
That's a fact.
Like, don't you think if you want to figure out, how we should do this with our marriage, maybe you should talk to a married woman?
Well,
like, why would you talk to single people who are bitter and angry and all they have is bad stories to tell about all the failed, sorry, how they feel
what I hate when a female be like, "Yo, all men ain't shit." My favorite reply to that is, "Who told you to try all the men?" And you didn't try me, so you didn't try all men. But and I hear that so much. Yo, all men ain't shit. Men ain't this. Men ain't that. Like, when did you have every man on the planet? And if you've had every man on the planet, you got to look at yourself and realize if every man ain't shit, you ain't shit.
Because it's the energy you putting out in who you're attracting.
And if your friends ain't shit, that means what they say, birds of a feather
flock together. Right. So you mean to tell me you running with a whole flock of hood rats and you the only one that's not a hood rat? I'm just saying.
I'm going to sip this water in my San Francisco 49er cup.
I'm just saying. Ladies, I'm just saying, like, men pay attention to all of these types of things. You're telling him one thing, but he's paying attention to your actions. And if your actions are not adding up with what your words are saying, what your words said don't mean shit.
Yo, I say that a lot to, whether it be to just friends, family. I also say that to students all the time. Like, yo, your actions speak for who you are as a person. You can say anything you want, but your actions and your behavior is going to tell who you really are.
And that's why toxic trait I would say is a person who's not committed to self. Because if you're not committed to self, you can't be committed to me.
I like that.
Me too.
I'll be honest with you, and I'm gonna be honest with you, it took me a long time. Like, I've always put people in front of me. And just recently, I think me and Myche, we talked about it. I recently started seeing a therapist. And I invested this thing, which is going to become a part of my slogan, me versus me. I don't care who uses it, but I wish everybody uses it because, again, in order for you to be a better you have to challenge you. You can't be looking at everybody else and say, okay, well, this person is doing this or this person is doing that. Yo, I gotta look at myself and be like, yo, where did I make a mistake? Where did I go wrong? How did I do this? How did I do that? And if I can't do that, I'm gonna forever be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Can't grow without knowing where you was wrong yet.
Without self-reflection.
But see,
You
but that,
have
but
to
the
have
thing,
self-reflection and accountability.
but see,
Because
but
you
all,
just
but all those terms that we're using right now, I had to go. I went to therapy for a while. It's like y'all know that's still a place that black folks still scared of, man.
yes, it's
You
a
know,
stigma on
I
getting
mean, we
help and
we
healing.
still scared of that, man. So working in the school
And,
system,
but coach, you see how I just dropped that where I'm in therapy, so I don't care. I hate to say it, just like going back to the last testimony about how you go tell your friends about me and they be the negative part. I don't really give a f what you think about me, because at the end of the day, if I think I'm the shit, I'm the shit.
right?
That's a
You
fact.
better
Right.
say that word.
But some of us we're not able. And I'm saying we're losing, not me, but I'm saying our people in general, man. We're not able. Like, it took me so many years to admit that I had anxiety in certain areas because you know that's a pump term. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right,
anxiety, got no anxiety. You know what I'm saying? But
right.
the thing about it is that I wasn't just gonna catch that. I had to listen to something, be around somebody to help me to even see that. You gotta think about it, man. We listen to rap all the time. We watch videos. We looking at TikTok all the time. Like, they're not putting themselves in front of people that's talking like this. So me as a coach and working in the school system for the last 18 years, I worked in discipline as well for 6 of those years. I got to a point to where I started asking the question, how's your relationship with your father? I said, you don't have to answer that. I'll say 97% of the kids I deal with in the office didn't have relationships with their dads. I mean, I'm talking about almost every last one of them. That's white, black, Puerto Rican, Asian, rich, poor, middle class. Is a breakdown there. And what I was able to do during that time frame was get them to see something differently, and then they turn around and they start doing better because now they had a conversation with somebody that listened to them. So I mean, I know I'm going a little different, but we just talking about how this mindset, this just percolating at this time. It's just, man, they're not being taught anything. You said, Mike, what was fortunate about you is that when you like you said, with your mom, when relationship and all that stuff, they kind of messed up, and you say your dad raised you, and so you saw a man, you know, treat you a certain way, talk to you about what a man should do. Like, you're literally in the 1%, when it comes to like that doesn't happen. That just doesn't happen. And when you told me that story, I was like, really just, I stepped back because you don't hear that a lot. And so, like right now, Shantae, you're dating and you were with somebody for 25 years, man, which I wish that, like, for me, I lost my virginity at 15 because in my mind, I told myself this is going to be my wife. So I tried to take the church model and mix it in with me messing up. And that messed me up. Having sex at 15 years old messed me up. I was jacked up. I was a nice guy, clean, all that stuff there, but man, I was a low down, dirty hound dog. You feel me? I'm just saying, it activated something in me. You see what I'm saying? It activated something in me, and I regret it to this very day. But guess what? I grew up in the house with my dad, but we didn't talk about sex. We didn't. And I'm not throwing him under the bus. That's just saying the reality, man. We didn't have that conversation. My mama used to talk to me, but I didn't have not one man, not one, talk to me about sex. Not one.
What's crazy? Now that I think about it, I didn't either. I mean, I was way younger than that when I lost my virginity, but
Hey,
I lived a different lifestyle. But on my 18th birthday, my stepfather, he came in with with the lawn garbage bags, and I tell everybody this story: a lawn garbage bag full of condoms. Just
That's what's up. That's solid right there.
so, I mean, listen.
Okay, so I got a question then, because since I was locked up for 25 and Willie wasn't outside until now, would you say that
Yo.
Nah, because it's
For everybody that just tuned in, he was in a relationship, a serious relationship with.
yeah.
He's newly divorced.
Yes.
And dating, and he's navigating through this new world
Yeah.
of modern women.
Yo, he was locked up for 25. So he did a 25-year sprint.
He did a 25-year stint.
But what you, I would have been outside in my younger years. Yeah, I'd probably have like 15, 20. But my question is like, me making that, it's like, I think a lot of people have the information. I think a lot of people have, different outlets, different books and things that they can read. And I just like, some people cop out and be like, oh, well, I was young and dumb. And I for me, it's hard for me to hear because I made a choice when 8th grade summer, I made a choice and said, hey, I'm going to figure out who I want to be with, who I want to build with right now. Like I bought my house when I was 25 years old with this person because that's how I wanted to plan. Bought all the books, bought everything in the world to try to combat the world. Even had a conversation and said, hey, we know we're together young. If we decide to jump out the window, let the other person know. That person didn't do it. So for me, I think, I hear people when they say they made a mistake. And I think the definition of a mistake is when you don't have the information. I think a lot of people are making bad choices. They know what's right and wrong. You know what I'm saying? But I can't take the young aspect because I seen everybody selling dope. I seen everybody going to jail. I decided to do something different. You know what I'm saying? So it's just hard for me to give grace in some of those aspects. And I think this week it was yesterday. I saw a dude on Facebook, and he said something that really stuck out. And he was like, basically, people want to do all the fuck shit. And then they want to be sanctified when it's time for them to settle down when they're old. And I don't think that's cool. People don't want to be judged for their past, but it's hard for somebody to not look at some of those things that you've done because you knew the right choice to make. You feel me? And and me being out here now, don't get me wrong, like I don't look down on people. I don't do none of that. But it's sometimes some of this stuff is really hard for me to listen to and hear because I never made that choice. I wanted.
I mean, I get where you're going with that, brother. But we're not judge, jury, and executioner. So everybody is going to live their life and live it how they choose and feel fit. So I'm one person. I don't have the most, prestigious past. Let's just say it like that. I didn't have a dad around, but the streets raised me. And I'm from Brooklyn in Queens, New York. So if anybody knows New York, I grew up in the late 80s, 90s, and I played the streets.
Yeah.
And it was still to this day, and I tell my family, like, and it was a time where I was like, yo, I don't know anything but selling drugs. But it took me getting out of that getting out of that non-mature level to realize, like, yo, there's other things in life. And when I finally started getting careers and getting better things in life, my mind opened up to more things. And as far as looking back at people, like I was a gang member. I don't look at people and say, damn, they stupid for being a gang. It's just like, yo, they were misled because there's so many other things they can be doing. Look at Coach. He coaches basketball, and that in some forms not being a negative gang, but that's a gang. That's something that people can go ahead and join and have a positive outcome. You join so many different things inside a school or a community center. Depends on where you're at, because not all places have community centers. But unlike you, I sat back, like I said, I have a twin brother, and my mother raised us alone. So it was back then, and I'm sure you said you're 42, so you probably remember these. I remember when I first seen the LA Gear lights.
I remember them.
And I was like, well, I need to have a pair of those.
Yeah.
Vinny looking at us like, I don't even know what they're talking about.
I don't.
I had some.
but and I'm like, yo, ma, I need those. And my mother was like, yo, I can't afford those, you know. And I'm like, okay. And I went out and I got them. So I'm not gonna sit back and knock. You know, some people don't have to go that route. They just choose to go that route to be cool.
Right.
But I chose that route because I wanted. I needed. I had to have. It was like, damn, if I can get this, if I can get that, I'm good. Oh, that dude right there, he got a gold chain. I need to get a bigger gold chain.
Yeah.
So do you worry about somebody being a creature of habit and falling back into that habit, depending on whatever situation triggers that trauma to go back in that state?
If you don't have opportunities, you're gonna go back. And the bad thing about our communities, we don't have true outlets. I so happen, and I'll tell my story. My story is I actually was doing security at a pharmacy. And the delivery guy quit. So when the delivery guy quit, the owner of the pharmacy said, hey, you're the only one with a car. Can you do deliveries? Sure, we'll give you extra gas money. We'll put some extra money on your check. In the process of me doing deliveries, I delivered to a dialysis clinic. The dialysis clinic, the boss asked me, she said, hey, you want a job? First, I don't even know what the hell dialysis is. But I said, yeah, sure, give me a job. A couple of weeks went past, and she never said anything else to me. So one day I walked in and she says, I thought you wanted a job. And I said to her, I thought you was playing. She says, come to my office. She gives me $100 bill. And she says, on Monday, bring me the receipt and have on a pair of scrubs. You start Monday at 8 a.m.
Wow.
I ended up going back to that pharmacy job. Now, mind you, that pharmacy, the managers, the owners, they provided for my oldest daughter. She just turned 25 on Thursday. They was giving formula clothes. But I mean, it was a job where it was I couldn't go anywhere. So with me getting a dialysis job, now I'm like, I'm not even gonna lie. I got that job on that Friday. All weekend, I'm asking people what dialysis is. I had no clue. But I did 15 years working in the dialysis field. Got promotion after promotion after promotion, and a few years ago, I went into education. So with that being said, I so happen to fall into my luck. Most people don't fall into their luck. So, you just like you have a lot of people like that went to prison. When they come home from prison, you have some who have been awarded an opportunity to get a good job or join a union, or you have some who can go so many places and make a great living without going back to prison. But then you have some whose family is just like, okay, well, you went to prison, you ain't gonna be shit. You got a felony, so you can't. You're never gonna be able to do anything. So those are the ones that, and not all of them, but those are the ones that end up going back and reversing their same lifestyle. So it depends. Not everybody would sit back and say, okay, well, I'm gonna go back into this lifestyle. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. Now, some of us have had things that fell upon us that changed our lives forever. And I'll be honest with you, I've had some truly, truly, truly amazing people around me in the past, the present, and moving forward into the future. So I have some amazing people in my life now that hold me accountable for everything I do. If I'm doing something wrong, I'm gonna hear about it.
That's solid, though. That's what you want.
Yeah.
There's a growth.
People around each other, keeping each other accountable. That's what we don't have in this community either, is accountability. It's like everybody's for themselves. Everybody don't see nothing. Everything gets swept under the rug. It's just like everybody's all about them. Like we don't care about the children. We don't care about each other. It's like everybody just wants to have sex and make babies.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say this. I'll say this too, and I know what our overall topic is, but I know but this has a whole lot to do with how relationships are developing because of experiences and traumas and frustrations and all these different things. But I'll tell you, for me, growing up in our hood, here where I came from, I experienced the shootings and the killings and all these different things, man. And I had, I had my dad. My dad grew up in the hood. You know what I'm saying? We didn't move far. We moved to the neighborhood next to the hood. So
Not far from it.
not far from it. You know what I'm saying?
You just
So
move across the street from the
yeah,
gate.
right. You see what I'm saying? We still play ball at the same park. You see what I'm saying? So, but all I'm saying is that this was my experience, y'all. That's crazy. Is that my dad was so tight, on me and my brother that the streets actually kept me off of it.
Mm.
See,
Mhm.
I was the
I like
kid.
that. I like the way you worded that.
See, I was the kid that the guys when I tried to do what they were doing. No, Ed, this ain't for you, man. Go home. So that's my hey man, don't this ain't for you. Man, go on, man. You keep me away from it. You see what I'm saying? Because what they saw something in me that I didn't see. I'm trying to fit in and hang out with them, but it was like, nah, dude, you gonna make it out of here. Stay away from this. So that's my experience. But then also now on the flip side, let's go to my adulthood as an educator, working in the same neighborhood that I grew up in. Now, when I am teaching the boys that I'm coaching and giving them something that we don't hear on the street, because like I told you, I was a church boy. You know what I'm saying? Yes, that's just always been my story. I did what I did, all what my experience I did in the church. You know what I'm saying? But when I start teaching my boys about being a husband, about being a father, about wanting to lead a family, see, my story now is that I piss people off in the hood as an adult. I pissed them off. They were upset with me because I wasn't accepting the excuses of your background. I didn't let my boys have excuses about their decision making and who they hung out with. You see what I'm saying? Like for me, if you want to be an athlete, if you have a D in the class, you can't play. And people will say, "Oh man, you killing a dream." Well, what dream they got with D's? You see what I'm saying? If this kid's gonna go to college and play, he can't go to college with D's. You see what I'm saying? So it was so back and forth with that. But my testimonial now on this end about catching those boys when they were 14, 15, 16. Now I've been doing this long enough. I got boys who came from broken homes, who didn't know their dads, who mamas might have passed, lived with their grandma, who are now married, got careers, military, police officers. That's what's coming from under my tree now, all because of I know the environment that I created right in the middle of the hood. You see what I'm saying? We had different conversations. I was doing, and I still do, with guys in my field. Everybody's trying to keep these boys think they all going to be an entertainer or an athlete. And that's a serious problem. That's a serious problem. Even for our young ladies who want to be, man, now they'll tell you, I want to dance.
You want to be IG models and get flown out, and they got booking information all on there.
OnlyFans pages, all of that stuff that's going on, they're aspiring to do that because you have people in positions like ours, me and you, TL Mac, that we got to have these conversations with these kids. You know what I'm saying? And we got to show them how to do it. You're a husband, you're a father. They need to see that part of you. Same thing with me. They got to see that so they can see it's reality, because I intentionally live my life in front of them. I don't hide my son and my wife. And when we talk, hey man, I tell my boys, if you got a father at home, go home and tell your daddy you love him. I try to put things in their minds, on a consistent basis that's trying to plant some seeds in them so they can start seeing themselves differently. And so what's happened is like what you said with your story, Mac, and I've seen where boys have gone to jail and come home, and then when they got out of jail, they was like, I don't want to go back. and they'll leave their family and find somebody else to stay with and try to do something different. See, I've seen both sides. I've seen the ones that go back and stay stuck, but I've also seen ones because they heard something different, and when they went to jail, they was like, I ain't going back in there. Coach taught me this in school. Coach told me I could do this, and this. And they will leave their families and have some friend or some auntie or something somewhere, and they'll go somewhere else and get away from them. And now they're doing okay. So it still comes down to choices, but sometimes you can't make the right choice if somebody don't plant something in your head in order for you to go to refer to. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, think about it, Shantae and Vinny. How in the world can somebody think differently if nobody doesn't present something to them?
If you don't know better, you can't do better.
You can't. That's impossible.
Wait.
I love that right there. We talking.
And that's why I be having my issue, because my parents was married. I saw everything, both sides. They argued, they had fights, all that.
Mm-hmm.
I told myself I wanted something totally different, and
that's cool
information.
Okay.
And what I see now, and especially now, I don't give grace for people who smoke crack back in the 80s. If you smoke crack in the 80s, because you
yeah.
Whoa. I was not expecting that.
If you want it, you can get out. And so many people sit there and be like in shallow water, like, oh, I need help. Man, you better pick up the phone. You better look at the internet, like do something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But nobody do that. They're looking for somebody else to tell them something, whether it's a celebrity or somebody on a TikTok or you page, to tell them, instead of really digging deep and finding not just one, but maybe 3 or 4 different options.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. Going off what you said, like I'm into the bodybuilding field, right?
Yeah.
So I always sat back and I'm like, yo, you know what? Watching the Arnold Schwarzeneggers, the Lee Haneys, so on and so forth. Those were the ones who made a difference in my life. But when it came to coaching, I had a famous coach at one point, but I got my best coaching from somebody who is not even really known now. He's major, but he's not even known. So like he's saying, everybody wants to hear from the celebrities. It doesn't make sense if the celebrity didn't say it. If somebody major didn't say it, it really doesn't matter.
Right.
So I definitely
appreciate. Not true. If a celebrity or
if Cardi B didn't say it, if Cardi B or Beyonce didn't say it, it don't matter.
Okay. I didn't know about prenup till Yeezy said it.
Where do you teach at? Do you teach in the neighborhood?
But look at Steve Harvey.
So I mean,
your coach.
What about Steve Harvey?
That's a Yeezy University.
Yeah.
Currently, I'm in a suburban school with a mixture of inner city schools that get bussed in. But I spent the majority of my career at inner city school. Like I'm talking about, it's closed now. You know what I'm saying? But that was the greatest experience of my life. I was there for 6 years, and I learned so much about myself. You know what I'm saying? Like working, and I think every school teacher needs to work in the hood at some point. Cause man, the suburbs and where I'm at right now, like I said, I got a mixture, but it's so different. But really, the truth is, y'all, it's the same. The rich kid and the poor kid need the same thing. The only difference is
one got money, one don't.
They might have the physical needs that they're getting met more than the kid that's coming from the hood, eating good, gotta drive a car. But emotionally, they're all the same.
Yeah.
They're all the same emotionally. I see the little girl from the hood and the little girl from the suburb fall for the same type of guy. You see what I'm saying? Because they're not getting attention at home from their parents. You see what I'm saying? It's the exact same. It just looks a little different. You see what I'm saying? It looks a little different.
Attention, the main factor.
Both the schools I worked at, I worked in 3 different schools. But the first school I really don't count because I was only a short period of time. But the first school I actually worked in full time was I went there and I graduated from elementary school there.
Mm-hmm.
And just being in that community it was amazing because I was able to connect with the kids. Now I'm closer to where I was raised at. And a lot of the kids, I have conversations with a lot of the kids, and all you hear, when kids look at teachers, they think all teachers live or grew up in the big house up the block.
Yep.
But when I had the conversation, and we only go up to fifth grade. So one of the fifth graders said to me, "Well, Mr. McLean, if you're from Queens, and at the time I live in Queens now, but which is literally on the border of East New York, Brooklyn." And I said, "Well, it's not where I'm at." I said, "Where I'm from is from Cypress Projects, where a lot of our kids come from." And they're like, "Mr. McLean, you're not from Cypress." I said, "I'm from 1240 Sutter Avenue, apartment 6B." And they looked at me like, "Are you serious?" I said, "Yo, I could tell you about different things that was in the area before it was there." And it was like, "Well, my mom and dad said that." And I'm like, "Well, that's clearly because," and I'm like, "Yo, a lot of y'all parents I've known for years."
Uh-huh.
So it'd be funny, where it's always good to give back to the community. And I love working where I work at.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm telling you, man. So like everything that we're saying still goes back to what Mikey was talking to us about with the relationship. Like that stuff, it molds and it shapes, and it's amazing how when as a kids, we all could sit here and say we saw stuff that molded the way we did life as an adult. Like it doesn't go away. I mean, even if you go flip like Shantae said, what he saw, it showed him what he didn't want to do. You know what I'm saying? Like it showed him what he didn't want to. Like, man, I don't want to live like that. You know what I'm saying? But you got you still made a decision based on something you saw. You just like, man, I don't like that. I want to do something different. Even if I did see something different or not, it's still you made a decision. I want something different. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes that's a conclusion that some people they don't get to. Is that the decision that I want something different, and what does it take for me to get there? Because like now, y'all, we can YouTube anything, like anything you want. You can go to YouTube, you can go to Google, and you can get some information. I mean, it's just there's no way that you cannot find a way to hear something different or see something different, man. Like it's no excuses, but at the same time, I like what you said earlier, Matt. I don't judge people. I don't look at them and like see why they're not doing this, that, and the other. I'm very empathetic now, especially after I messed up in my marriage. You know what I'm saying? Like that gave me a level of empathy dealing with people because I could have easily lost my marriage because of what I did. You see what I'm saying? I'm grateful. So like to look down at somebody, their situation. No, man, I'm really trying to put myself in their shoes to understand, man, why they like that. What caused them to go that direction? And if I can touch them, if I can help them, I'll try. But if they don't want the help, I'll learn to keep moving too.
Yep.
My apologies, you guys. I had to deal with my son. He was doing too much in the background. But so I hear a lot of women, they're always saying, I'm grown, I could wear what I want to wear and all of that. So how do you feel about the woman in your life, whether it be a wife, girlfriend, or whatever, wearing inappropriate clothes? And if she does wear inappropriate clothes, not you, I know you guys, your wives don't, so this is just hypothetical, but if she did wear an inappropriate clothes, how would you address the situation?
Hey, Benny, hit that one for us, Benny.
You want me to take over? Oh, okay, okay. I mean, for me, if she was wearing inappropriate clothes, I mean, I doubt we'd be leaving the house, to be honest with you. I mean, because she really supposed to be wearing that for me anyway. So, I mean, the way I see it, you know what I mean? But at the same time, I mean, I wouldn't be upset at her either. I mean, it's her body, you know what I mean? I mean, I talk to her like, hey, I don't know if you should be wearing that. Like, I mean, what type of, attention you trying to attract? I mean, you should be wearing that for me, you know what I mean? And if you wearing that for somebody else, I mean, you know what I mean? We can
Okay,
talk about it.
if you tell her that, if you tell her, this, you should be wearing that for me, you're in a relationship. If you came at her like you just said, and she still chooses to wear that, how do you then feel about that?
I mean, I ain't about to press it. I'm gonna just go see it's Grace sweatpants season. You know what I mean? I ain't stressing it.
Oh, so
I
you're
mean,
gonna
she wanna
combat
go.
and you gonna do the same
You know
thing.
what I mean?
You
I
gonna
go do my thing. I mean, and then if she feels some type of way, we can talk about it. I mean, I ain't gotta go and do nothing extra, but you know what I mean? I
He
definitely
says,
let
I
you
mean,
feel that same pain. You know what I mean? I let you. You gotta. You know what I mean? You can't be just giving me L's and I'm just supposed to be taking them, and I'm just gonna sit back and be like, oh man, you know.
I, I don't complain about outfits. You know, I get the one that be getting beef with. You know, like where you going with them shorts on, or
How would you?
you know, like t-shirts right here,
Like,
like
why you gotta wear that shirt showing off your arms like that?
you know, sometimes it's like, yeah. I mean, I'm even one that I ask first. You know, is it okay if I wear this? I'm not even gonna hold you up. I'm that one like, yo, is it cool? Like how I look? Like, is it all right? I mean, because I'm a lot more muscular than I've been in many years. So, you know, the attention is a lot more rampant now, and the disrespect is a lot more higher.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Men
you
are
know,
very disrespectful.
I gotta ask first. And I'm be honest with you, you know, I kind of switched up the style a little bit. You know, I started wearing a lot of form fitting stuff, you know. So
Oh Lord.
so I mean,
You got the copper joints.
it was more so to be because first, you know, I'll be honest with you, like, you know, I go to shirt, you know, I'm education. So I used to come in with the shirt and ties on, you know, be clean. Now it's like, let me put on, you know, a nice tailored shirt, a nice pair of slacks, you know. But that's you know, I don't complain, you know. If you wearing something little, you know, at the end of the night, them cheeks gonna get spanked.
Thank you. That's
I don't know. I guess for me, I always looked at it as you can wear whatever you want as long as if somebody approaches you, you know what to say. You know what I'm saying? As long as not know, you know, you are entertaining it. I'm not tripping. You know, everybody wants a trophy wife, and if to me, if somebody ain't looking and they ain't gawking, then evidently I ain't got a hot commodity. That's the way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, and I don't, you know, I'm not gonna do what you can or can't. You know, like he said, if it, I'm not gonna ask for permission. I'm gonna do what the fuck I want to do, especially when I'm wearing some clothes because I want to look good and feel good. You get attention, I get attention, but we know who's going home with who.
Yeah.
I'm at.
Nah, I'm asked because I might get in trouble. I might, you know, I get in trouble. I'm not even gonna hold you up. The unicorn will flip on me in a heartbeat. Like, what the fuck like somebody call me sexy right now. I'm getting the look and the truth. Like, I'm not the one that said I was sexy. They said it. I get the look. Like,
Okay, but look though, but you're putting all the hard work in for who though? For you and your partner. So why would somebody?
no. I'm putting the hard work in for me. All right.
right.
Just so you know, the bodybuilding thing I've been trying to do for 20 years. So I had a kidney issue. So now that the kidney issue is resolved,
Yeah.
listen, I'm going 1,000 miles an hour to get on that stage.
Yeah, I feel.
Right.
And it's only for me because people could care less if I get on stage.
Yeah.
It's me that want to get on stage.
Yeah.
Nobody, what Drake say? Ain't nobody shooting with me in the gym. It's me.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
You
Yo,
know.
I can have this. I could put this gut back on, and people will be like, "Oh, he's handsome with a gut."
Oh yeah, no. But I want my partner to crave me as much as I want them to look a certain way too. So
And they
I,
should.
I love being craved.
Your woman should crave you just as much as you
That's an
crave her.
amazing thing. You know, affection, attention. That shit amazing.
It really is.
Women seem to think that because you guys are supposed to be the protectors and you got to be strong, they seem to forget that you guys have feelings and emotions and you want to feel appreciated just like we do. You want to feel loved and needed and all the stuff that we want from you guys want it from us too, but we seem to forget about that somewhere along the line. And it's like,
I like my back rub.
Truthfully, I'll say because the woman that I talk about, I saw myself becoming her, and I had to do a lot of self-reflection.
So you doing us for investigations for yourself?
No. This is for other women.
Yeah.
The podcast is directed towards women, and I feel like as women in our community, we don't listen to our men enough. We don't understand our men, but we'll sit around in a room and we think we got it all together and we know everything about them, and we don't. So that's why I have you guys doing the interviews and the roundtable, because I want this type of conversation that we should be having as a community anyway.
So what's
as
the next,
men and women.
What's the next hot question? Hit us with a bar. What you got next?
Okay, so the next hot question is, wait 1 second. I'm sorry. You know, I'm trying to multitask. I told my son not to go outside, and I just saw him going down the stairs. So, so I got distracted for a moment. My bad. But I do want to say, though, as a woman, because I asked that question because as a woman, I do hear some men having issues with their women wearing things that are a little too revealing or things like that. And their combat to that is, you know, I'm grown. I can do what I want. I can wear what I want, which is true. You're grown. You can wear whatever you want. But as a woman in a relationship, I just feel that there are certain things that I would wear single that I don't wear in a relationship, or I wouldn't wear unless I'm with him, because I don't want the attention that it brings. Now, I could get attention in jeans and a t-shirt, but I could also wear something half naked, you know, that I wore when I was single. And then all day I'm going to have to tell men, no, thank you. I'm in a relationship. No, thank you. I don't want to do that all day. Yeah. So that's why I dress the way I dress, not because my king has a problem with what I wear, because he's pretty much like y'all. Like, if shit, I don't want something that don't nobody else want. So if they ain't looking, obviously I didn't do something right. So he doesn't have a problem with the things I wear. Yeah. I wear certain things because I don't want to bring extra attention. I don't.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you, right? And I want to be political correct with this. It's gonna come off real disrespectful. You could be a mud duck, and a dude gonna holler.
Wrong dude.
That's true. That's so true. You're right. You're right.
I mean, I didn't see some females like, and I'll be like, whoo, and coach, yo, Shantae, you my age, yo. I'll be like, good googly moo. Like, damn, what you like really, bro? You good? No. And you know what the favorite line is? I'm gonna tell you what the favorite line that most men say. She got a fat ass.
That's the famous line.
Vinny laughing because Vinny must have did that too.
That's the famous line.
I remember having a conversation with a homeboy. We was grilling them.
I've heard it before. I've walked by and I've heard it. So
like, I'm not the point. Like even as an educator, I done seen some of the parents come drop the kids off, and I be like especially if they got more than one kid, I be like, damn, somebody hit that more than once. like why? Like I don't know. You know, yeah, I'm fucked up. That's just me. This is how I am all the time.
As a woman, I've noticed certain ways that I dress, I get different types of attention. So what I'm saying is the type of attention to where I have to tell people all day that no, thank you, I have a man. I don't want that type of attention. Like, I feel like when you're single, you dress a certain way because you're trying to attract attention. Now, once you are in a relationship with somebody, I really only want your attention. So I'm dressing because I want you to look at me and be like, yep, that's all me. I don't care about what all them other men out there think.
I could see my girl in a sweatsuit. She could have a fucking bonnet on her head. She could fucking have she could have one of the face mask.
Face mask.
Whatever, yo, you are so beautiful.
Yes.
But that's what every woman wants to feel like. What you just said right there, men, y'all pay attention. All women want to feel like they're the most beautiful woman in your world. Even if she's not. Like you said, you've seen something like, ooh, who did it with her more than once? Even if she's not the most beautiful woman in your world, every woman wants to feel like she is.
No, you should only be with the woman that's the most beautiful woman in the world. You shouldn't be with nobody else. If she ain't the most beautiful woman in the world to you, you might as well just move on. Because if you ain't got Miss Universe, you ain't got your unicorn, then you just need to mosey on. Because all you're gonna keep doing is just keep trying to look off. You're gonna keep trying to look for the next.
Right.
That's a fact.
You know, you don't want to.
I still remember what my wife had on when I approached her. We went to Northwestern State University here in Louisiana. and she's in the Sigma Gamma Rho sorority. And
Yo, you see his face lighting up?
Right,
bruh,
he's remembering it. You see him, he sees it in his head again.
Doc, Doc, y'all know our era was the no limit soldieries, the classic
Right.
Reebok. Man, she had on some white soldier Reeboks, man, with the low cut socks. Had on some blue Sigma Gamma, just some gym shorts and a Sigma Gamma Rho t-shirt. Her hair, she had just washed it, so it was just she had a short haircut, so it was just slicked down. That's how it was. She wasn't dressed up.
Yo, coach, you all right, coach?
She wasn't
Coach,
He's
glammed up.
reminiscing, boy. This is so cute. I love it.
But
yo, coach, you all right, coach?
He's
that's what I'm trying to say.
nostalgic right now.
No makeup, no nothing. I mean, like that's I saw her just like that, and I was like,
Damn.
just like that. So some of this stuff that women do, man, it's overkill sometimes, man. Honestly, I mean, it's okay to look nice and dress up, but sometimes I think it's overkill. I'm telling you.
Yo, that
Because
natural beauty
What is
natural beauty is amazing
overkill?
beauty.
What is the overkill? Because
I
this is
think
the
the
thing
over.
the ladies need to hear, because they seem to think all this overkill and all the things that they're doing, they seem to think y'all like it.
The
So
eyelashes
Yeah.
like out here, when your eyelashes is like right here.
Yeah.
Like, yo, if I'm looking at you and I think you're gonna fly away, that's too much.
You know?
Like, I'm okay with
what
makeup.
else?
It's just the eyelashes to me. I'm
Yeah.
okay
You
with a
don't
wig,
have a
a
problem with
weave,
the makeup?
braid. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with, I love locks. I love natural stuff. I love natural hair.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm okay with anything else. If you want to do a wig, you want to do extensions, you want to do weave, I'm okay
Yeah.
with all that. But when you start adding to the eyebrows,
Not the eyebrow.
like, and I mean, I've seen people where it's nice, where it could be, nicely done. But then you have the ones that come.
Yeah.
I'll be like, yo, my question was like, yo, what was they thinking? Like, did they think that was cute? And also, me being, into the fitness, I'm not a fan of the BBL.
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
That was gonna be a question too. Like,
Okay.
how do y'all feel about these manufactured bodies and faces and
What you gotta say, Shantae? Go ahead, get that out.
Okay, so keep this out straight up.
All right.
If you do a transfer, I'm
a
fine.
fat transfer? You can handle a fat transfer.
But it also goes to like that's for me. It's like a last resort thing. I'd rather you get in the gym, try to get to it. Sometimes we know that pudge, that pouch, it's hard. So if you do a transfer that way, I'm good with that. But you still got to be committed to yourself and keep the upkeep. But all this other stuff, these wigs, these lashes, these weaves, no.
You're not okay with a wig or a weave?
No, man, what? You got a personality problem? We gotta be off to the stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess because I've seen it. The wigs, the weaves, the extensions. I'm okay, but I mean, like I said, natural is the best way. But I just got a problem with those.
Vinny, what you like, man? What is
Vinny like it all. Vinny like the weaves, the wigs, the eyelashes.
Vinny real quiet on this subject right now. I don't know.
Yeah. Get my way. Whatever y'all want over there.
Vinny and
I mean, for me, I do got specific like requirements and stuff, but like, I mean, even if I don't get that, I still want her to have like a certain type of mindset. I just want her to be able to kind of work with me. Like, I don't need a girl who think that she know it all. I don't need a girl who thinks she the finest thing in the world. Don't get me wrong. I want a girl who believe that she fine, one of the finest things in the world. But what I mean? Like for me, like with the type of business that I want to go down with music and everything, like it's all about being a people's person. So I need a girl that can talk, who can be empathic. You know what I mean? Like, so I mean, I get what y'all saying. Like, I mean, yeah, I like a girl with curls. If she was Puerto Rican or something like that, that's nice too. But like, for me, you know what I mean? Like, but for me, it's like I want something a little bit more specific. And sometimes, that might not be the Puerto Rican with the curls that's nearby. I can still get that at some point, but you know what I mean? Like,
But what
I
about the
just need a
women?
girl to,
Do you want? See, now my inquiring mind wants to know now.
what's that?
So what is this something specific? Like, what are you talking about? You said I want something that's very specific. So what is this?
I mean, it's a mindset. Like, it's a girl who understand like what it means to be like a partner in your life type of shit. Excuse my language. Like, like when I was working and I was doing business, I kind of learned that because I had a boss that was more like she'd leave and kind of make you figure it out type stuff. So I learned that, through this job that I kind of got to figure it out with even relationships and stuff. Like I got to learn her, but I also got to learn me. So, I got to learn stuff about myself. And once I know enough about myself, then I could go into a relationship and say, I demand these terms because I know that I like this, and I like that. And I bring these to the table. You know what I mean? Like, and I would like to have a girl that has a mindset where she knows enough about herself or is willing to learn more about herself with me so that we could build something together that's going to be real. I really don't care if she get a BBL or not. I mean, I know that's what the real question was, but I don't really care if she get one or not. That's her body and she get to choose what she want to do at the end of the day. It's just about, are you doing it for the attention of other people? You doing it for yourself? You doing it for me? Like that's the real question that you got to answer for yourself and for me because we're in a relationship. Then from there, we just continue on with it. I mean, I'm gonna be there if you're doing it for either me or for yourself. I'm gonna be there during the days where your butt bleeding and all that. You got the whole joint wrapped up. I'll be there. It is what it is. But that's the way you.
You gonna change the gauze pads, bro?
I mean, if that's what the girl want, man, that's what she want. I can't talk her out of it. That'd be manipulation. You know what I mean? So either I'm gonna love her for what she want, or I just need to move on and find me somebody better.
I respect that. I definitely respect that. Me, I just can't do it. Yeah, and I guess it's me being a personal trainer and what I see now. Like I've seen some BBLs that you'd be like, okay, she did it the right way. But then I
Mhm.
see some that weigh like 75 pounds with a 300-pound ass. Like what you
Right.
who
Look
told
like
you that that
break
was
with
cute?
toothpicks.
They be like this, but be way
Right.
back out here.
Right. Like this. Like
Like
the
hold up,
thigh to
that's
the
not
thigh
right.
to the butt ratio doesn't match all the time.
Yeah, your thighs got to match your booty.
I'm
If
just
They
saying.
that
have a
don't
solid
work,
partner.
if that don't work, then look. If you got a booty issue, right? TL Mac, I got a booty plan for
Now
you.
I heard that. Get on
It's
in
gonna
there,
hurt,
on out,
but you got
work
to
it
put
on.
that work in,
Just
and you don't necessarily need the big joint. If you got an onion,
But see now the BBLs have made women that just have regular bodies feel like they have to compete, and it's just like a lot of men
there
prefer
is no
natural.
competition.
A
There
lot of
is
men
Yeah.
no
prefer
competition.
natural, and these
The
women are like
BBLs
to each other.
cannot compete with a natural, beautiful body.
Nah,
Period.
can you do it, bro? I'm telling y'all, man, it's so crazy because there are things about a woman naturally that we don't celebrate and we don't look at in this day and time. Like for me, stretch marks. You know what I'm saying? Like the natural stuff, man. Like just I mean, it's just things about a woman that are there naturally that because like with us being married and this is our wife and we know what her body has gone through for us. There are things about her that we appreciate. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I appreciate some of those things because of what we went through together. You know what I'm saying? And it's beautiful to me, you know. And but it's just the efforts, the stuff that's being done. To me, all I see is insecurity. So when I see that, I see insecurity. So I'm already, if I was a single guy, I'm not attracted. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm looking at that and I mean like that's I'm like, man, you got some problems. Something's going on inside of you that you're trying to hide with going to get that kind of help. You know
Well,
what I'm
maybe
saying?
I should do that though. Maybe Can men go get the muscles, get the chest,
Yes, you can.
get
Yes.
the abs?
You go
Yeah.
get all of that. Yep.
You can do all. You
Because
can do
They
all.
I'm
can
be
even
honest with you,
they can
I'm
even get
tired of
calves
working out.
put in. They can
I'm
even get
tired of
calves.
working I'm tired of working out to get this body I got. I want to. Maybe I should go to the doctor and get whatever they got.
Oh, you
Please
want?
don't.
I just
Please
don't, get the abs, get the chest, get just get it.
don't do it.
We all
I
superheroed
worked
out.
hard to get where I'm at right now, but
Don't do
what happened if I don't want to go to the gym no more?
Don't
Man.
do it.
I'm gonna call what's the dude? Dr. Miami. I'm gonna see if Dr. Miami got a plan
Yeah.
for me.
Dr.
Don't
Miami.
call Dr. Miami. Don't do it. Don't do it. So, do you fellas want to promote anything before we wrap it up? Because I'm about to have to go snatch
Okay.
my son up.
Leave him alone. Let him hang out outside.
No. He's having an issue. See, because his father and I were not together, but we do co-parent, and he's at that age to where that masculine energy needs to kick in, and so yeah,
All right.
that's the point
He's
we're
throwing
at.
a tantrum.
That's the point we're at, yeah. Because
So-
I already had to send him
Gotcha.
to his father when he was 8. Because he about 8, 9, he was like really tripping, and because I had my father, I realized the importance of fathers. And so I called his father and I'm like, look, I don't know what to do with him. I can't beat him to death. Like, he's not listening. He's bucking up on me. Like, you're gonna have to take him. He's coming
Hold
to you.
on. So look, this is what you should have did, right? The same thing my mother used to do, right? Put the belt down, and whatever's closest to you, you beat him with.
Listen,
When I say whatever, I'm not with extension cords, frying pans, wood and metal spoons, extend TV cords, TV
I was
remote.
with all of that too, and I
It's
didn't
gonna
like
be
it.
like,
So I try
it's
not
gonna
to
be
do
like,
all of that extra extensive stuff
You
with my
might
children.
have to.
But
it's
none of
gonna
that
turn into that
aligns with
psych
my
TV
Parents say
show.
to me, McLean, what
That's
can I
why
do
I
for
have
my
a
kid?
father.
I had
That's
always
why
my
I have a
parents be
father.
like, yo, Mr. McLean, what can I do to help my kid? Beat him.
I'm appreciative that I have his father because I'm gonna allow him to do all of that. I'm
Okay.
not putting my hands on him no more.
Oh,
I'm
you
not,
said no more.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't. Yo, please know that before I called his father, please know he had to pull himself out from up under the damn bed or out the closet or something. Yeah, I put hands on him. I done folded him up like a piece of paper.
Okay, so yeah. Then now it's dad turn to handle it.
Exactly. Like that's why I called him. I'm at my wit's end. I don't know what else to do with this child.
Yeah.
Here,
Now dad gonna give him the 2 pieces, and he gonna be like, I want to go back to mommy house. No. You got 2 more pieces to get.
No, he's back at mommy's house now. He was there from 8. He's been back for about a year. So he'll be 12 in November.
Oh, now he's feeling himself.
Oh,
he's
this is transition.
Now we're having that problem. Now he's a teenager, about to be a preteen and going to middle school, and he's feeling himself. And I keep trying to tell him, like, mommy is a new creature, and I try to be positive and all of that. But the old mommy is still there, and I still will fold you up like a piece of paper. But
she said like a piece of paper.
Like a piece of paper. But I don't want to have to do all of that. So I'm going to go on and put a call in to his father, because that's what that masculine energy, that men bring structure. There's things that men bring to the household that women seem to not realize. And you guys are robbing your children of that because you mad at the man because he didn't have good penis control or whatever the problem was, but it's an adult problem. And you are robbing the children of the tools that they need to be productive adults because you mad at the man. You mad because he's moved on and he got a new woman. You mad because he slept with 3 girls down the street. So he don't have good penis control. That don't mean he's not a good father. He just don't have good penis control. A lot of men don't. I'm just saying, a lot of men
don't. It's a new term for the books right there.
And a lot of times you knew that before you got with him. So you can't get with him and think that your stuff was dipped in gold and yours is going to be the one to change his whole everything. If he don't want to change, he's not going to. And he's going to keep dipping in all the lilies he want to dip in.
Oh, man.
I'm just saying. I was raised by a man. That's why me and a lot of women don't get along, because I'm that friend who's going to keep it real with you. I'm not the one that's going to jump on the bandwagon like, yeah, they all ain't ish. Yeah, girl. I'm going to be like, well, what did you do, sis? Because there were a couple times I was over here and we were smoking blunts and that man came home and there was no dinner cooked. The house was a mess. You looked like you just rolled up out of bed. Like, I probably wouldn't have came home either. And then you nagging, where you been? Why you late? Who is that in the? I wouldn't have came home either. See, they don't like me because I'm that friend that's gonna be like, well, it take two.
Yeah.
What were you providing? Because
sometimes men want to. Men don't want to. We don't want to be fussed with all the time. Sometimes.
No.
It'd be nice if you come home. Even if you had a bad day. Get that hug and a kiss. And just we want the same affection a female want. I mean, it's not as often as we get it. Just like I want flowers. I want an edible arrangement. I want a surprise.
I rub my king's feet. I
want my feet rubbed.
I clip his toenails. I do all of that.
Take a trip.
Hey, Shantae, I think his wife in the background, and he talking to her at the same time.
He's like, hint. I want some edible arrangements. I like flowers.
It's funny because she actually sent me one for my birthday.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, that's nice. But men do like those types of things, like just thinking of the cards. You might be out.
Yeah, I want a card. I want a card. Look, my card. I want my card to say, "How you doing, Your Highness?" That's it.
I'm so bad. Well, I already refer to mine as the king anyway, and I call him the king so much. I have everybody else calling him the king. They like so.
But he can't be the king because I'm the king.
Oh, he's the king, and he's the king here.
Okay, you know what? I'll let him be the king of just right there.
Of just right there. Okay.
Just right there. I'm just the king.
Okay. We're not gonna argue. We're not gonna argue about it.
Plus he's from Chicago. He got the wrong pizza.
That's why I said we're not gonna argue about it because y'all can't even get the pizza thing straight. So
I mean, the other dude that was on for like 32 seconds, he even said New York got the best pizza, and he's from Illinois.
But look where he said it. He didn't say it to where everybody else could hear it.
Yeah, because he ran off quick.
Background, nobody heard that. Only we know for sure.
But see, you just confirmed it.
He did say that. He did. But I can't say I haven't had both, so I can't say. But I do appreciate all y'all for coming. Again, y'all could go ahead and promote anything that you want to. I'm going to wrap it on up because, like I said, I'm going to have to snatch this little boy up. He's lost his mind. And I think because I'm doing this, he's like really testing the waters even more. That's why I had to turn my camera off a time or two and mute it for a second because I had to go in there and turn into old mommy real quick. But is there anything anybody wants to promote where they can find you?
Well, yeah. I actually have two places you can find me. My personal social media tag is Eddie J. Hamilton. Those are my personal pages, and then my business pages, the Coach's Sanctuary podcast. You subscribe on YouTube. I'm also on Anchor and Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Stitcher, on all that good stuff. Also on all of the social media pages. And like I said, for me, I help coaches build successful programs off the court. And it's more personal development and self-care approach for those that work in the coaching profession.
Okay.
TL Mac Fitness, as it's spelt.
I got to give me one of those.
At Instagram.com. I actually, there's a lady made this for me not too far from my house. I think I paid $40 for it.
Hey,
good. Nice.
I think it was 40. It was either 40 or 80.
Either one.
I had somebody else trying to charge me like $200 for it.
Oh.
Yeah,
I didn't on the 40 or 80 after the 200.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't remember. It was like when they gave me the price, I'm like, I'm on my way.
Right.
So TL Mac Fitness, I do online training. I do right now I'm not doing in-person training because I'm getting ready for these competitions. So first competition is October 8th in East Haven, Connecticut.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, TL Mac Fitness on Instagram, one word. And the page is open to everybody. Come on out there, come see what I got. TL Mac Fitness every Thursday at 8 p.m. on the Evening Rush Network, DAEVENING Network. That's on YouTube. So you'll find me there every Thursday night, 8 p.m. with my co-host Rails. And we always talk health and fitness. Every so often we'll sprinkle some other stuff in there. We talk steroids, a lot of stuff we talk about. We talk about everything that is included in the fitness world, as well as different health, things: lupus, cancer, kidney disease, drug abuse, mental health. So come on over and reach on out.
All right.
Appreciate you definitely having me on the show. I definitely appreciate meeting the fellas. Listen, we should have called this the barbershop talk because even though we had certain
That's what I
topics,
wanted to be like. I wanted to be like, man cave, barbershop. That's why I had everybody, chilling a little bit before we came on. So everybody was kind of familiar with each other,
Yeah, we definitely got into it quick.
Beforehand.
We definitely got into it quick. Like once we got on, we got a Baltimore Raven fan and a Buffalo Bills fan,
Look, don't leave my boys out.
And we're not gonna talk about the losers. I don't think y'all gonna go win. Did y'all win this year? Did they win? I don't even know if Green Bay won.
I'm not going to go there with you, Mr. Divine. You want to throw I'm not doing this with you.
I gotta go look.
Well, I'm a music artist. My name is Vinny Divine. You can check me out on vinnydivine.me. That's my personal website. I got a solo.co/Vinny Divine. That's like one of the link in bio joints. If you want to hit that and follow me on Facebook, Instagram. I got a couple of Facebook business pages for some of my businesses, like Gatekeepers. The company me and my brother have been working on as well was Big Boy Movers. We got Williams Brothers Contracting as well. So if you're in the Buffalo area, you need some work done to beautify up your home, hit me up. If you're trying to find some good music to listen to, come find me, hit me up.
What's your IG again?
Vinny Divine Official.
Shantae,
let's see, sneakerwars.net, sneaker WARZZ, at Sneaker Wars on Instagram. Facebook, you'll find me. I got a few different pages. I'm a super sneaker connoisseur. I'm into investments and things like that. Any of my pages.
You said Sneaker Wars?
Yeah, WARZ.
Two Z's, isn't it?
Yes. Emails 2 Z's, but the website is WARZ.
So the email's one. The email's 2. The website's 1. Yep. Okay, my bad.
Oh yeah,
get it right.
Is it like a skull?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. So you a skull guy?
Yeah. That's what we are under all this flesh. Oh, come on.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I see you.
Yeah. But yeah, sneakers, clothes, custom hoodies. That's what I'm into. That's what I do. And I appreciate all you guys that came up on here. I appreciate you having me on the show. And anytime, man, any place, man, I definitely
appreciate you guys too. Thank you guys so much. I feel like I picked a perfect set of men. I'm glad that you guys came on here to show everybody that my kings are intelligent, articulate. They can all get together and never met each other before this day and have an intelligent conversation. Nobody disrespected anybody. So I'm just appreciative that you guys came and showed people something different than, the stereotype and what they have out there about us as a people. So I just appreciate you guys. I will be doing something in the future. I'm going to reach out to y'all where I'm going to bring women and we're going to get like a whole little, back and forth with the women and the men.
Oh.
Okay.
Yes. Because we have to have those types of conversations with the women and the men of the community. But I feel like men need to hold men accountable and women need to hold women accountable. So that's
we're gonna do a show with women on it as well. Where I know you're gonna do one with all women, but you're gonna do one with men and women together.
Yes.
Bring me on for that. I want all that smoke.
I know you do. I gotta bring
all that smoke.
You gonna make it interesting, so you gotta be there.
And I'm gonna say a bunch of crazy stuff and just take it, just slide back like.
Yeah.
Stir the pot and then step back and see what happens. I know. That's why you gonna be there. Ladies, Mr. Divine and Shantae are single. You heard some of the things that they into and they interested in. They gave you their info, so reach out if you're interested. The other two, they taken, so don't reach out to them. Again, thank you guys. I appreciate you guys.
Yes,
And
I'm
thank you
definitely
everyone
taking,
else.
happy and taking.
Y'all heard it. He
I got a
already
unicorn.
He already said it though. They both already said, look, they like, just like me, I'm happy and taken too. So don't reach out to me either, fellas, unless
but I got a confession. Right? If you 400 pounds and better and you're a white woman and got good credit. Yo, Shantae told me.
Yeah.
See, y'all weren't privy to the conversation beforehand, so y'all don't know what none of that's about. But
oh my God.
I'm so done. Thank you guys. I really enjoyed you guys. This was a great panel. This was a great time. Thank you guys for joining me. Remember, the first step to change is realizing that a change is necessary. I challenge you to do some self-reflection and see if possibly there might be some changes that need to be made. Thank you so much for joining us on Tell Your Friends. You can find us on Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Glacier FM, and of course here on YouTube is Tell Your Friends everywhere with Mikey. So check us out. Any men who would like to interview, be involved in the roundtables, I'll drop my information in the video, in the comments, and just reach out. Thank you guys again. I appreciate you, and you guys have a great rest of your day.